Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, what's up, what's happening? And if you are joining again, thank you so much. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe, comment, leave a message, share, any of those things. That would be super helpful. Anywho, today I'm gonna show you guys two different ways how I like to brew my coffee. I don't have any of the fancy gadgets. I know they're super easy to do, but if you just don't have it, we're not in that kind of economy where we could just be spending all of this money. I am going to be making two different coffees, two different ways. So that way, if you're not like an instant coffee kind of person, or you don't like spending your money on instant coffee, I'm gonna show you a way to just do it with coffee grounds as well. And then I'm also gonna show you two different sizes. A big, huge mason jar, it can be for 2 people, or it can be for a little bit longer. This obviously will last more like a week, like 7 days, 8 days, 7 to 10 days. Whereas this one is probably, for me, it typically lasts 3 days. I'm gonna show you both ways on how to make this iced coffee. So let's get into it. First, I'm gonna start with the smaller portion. This is typically what I make when I'm making cold brew coffee for myself, just to have iced coffee for the next 2 or 3 days. I like to make this one. I don't mind making it every other day because I feel like it's fresher. And for instant coffee, I feel like making it in such huge batches, I mean, it's probably fine, but I just like it tasting fresh. So this is what I do when I make just this small batch. This mason jar holds, it measures up to 3 cups, but it can hold about 4 cups if I go all the way up to here. Obviously, you can eyeball this. I used to eyeball it, but I feel like what happens is you start to have stronger coffee sometimes, you start to have less strong coffee sometimes, and if you just want that consistent same taste every time, you might want to measure. Hey bud. Oh, I have a banana for you.
Banana?
Yeah. Yum. You might want to measure if you want consistent results every time. So what I do, I take my jar. Like I said, this jar measures only 3 cups, but if I go up to here, it's 4 cups. I've measured before. So what I'm going to do, the instant coffee on the directions state 1 teaspoon per 6 ounces. However, I do 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces because normally when you make a cup of coffee, it's 8 ounces, it's 1 cup. So I do 1 teaspoon and I do 4 tablespoons. I mean, wow, don't do tablespoons. I do 4 teaspoons. So 1, 2, 3. I guess they're kind of high too, not gonna lie. 4. And you seen how like high, it wasn't flat, flushed, and I like it like that. I know it's gonna come out really good. That's normally how I do it. So this is 4 teaspoons of instant coffee. And then I'm just gonna fill this with water up to where it's 4 cups for me. So this is what it looks like when you first fill it with water. It's super light. All the grounds are still at the bottom. I wait till all of this foam up here, I don't know if you can tell, but there's like a ton of foam from filling it up. I kind of wait for it to settle, and so I'm just gonna set it to the side while I show you how to make coffee, cold brew coffee with the bigger jar. We'll come back to this one, but as you can see, like even those little bit of seconds, you can see it's starting to darken because it's starting to bloom, if you will. Like I said, I don't have any cool equipment to strain the coffee grounds after. I have seen a few tricks and I am going to try one today. One of the tricks were putting coffee inside coffee filter and just wrapping them up with like a rubber band and then tossing all the bags in there, letting that brew, and then just throwing out the, like tea bags kind of. I don't know if I have rubber band, but I do have plenty of yarn. So it's gonna work like a rubber band, right? Now, normally what I do is I just put the coffee grounds straight in here. If you don't have coffee filters, trust me, you will be fine. Just throw all your coffee grounds in there, fill up your jar with water and let it sit. And then all you have to do is strain out the coffee grounds. It's not hard. I typically just use like a really thin mesh strainer. You can also use like a cheesecloth. It can be done. So don't, like, if you don't have coffee filters, still, you can do this. See how much darker this got already? This jar is about 6 cups from right here where it's naturally measured, 6.5 cups right here. And I think I'm gonna go for that because this is gonna be a lot of coffee. Also, I just follow what it says on here as far as what 1 cup would be providing. You can obviously adjust if you like stronger coffee or if you don't like a strong coffee. So on here, the suggestion is, okay, so use 1 rounded tablespoon of coffee for each 6 fluid ounces of cold water, or use a 1/2 cup of coffee for every 10 servings. So 8 times 6 is 48. So I'll have 48. That's a lot of coffee. I'll have 48 servings. So a 1/2 cup for every 10 servings. So I need 4. I guess you could tell I normally don't do it this way. That's a lot of coffee. I'm like, am I gonna drink that? Do I even have enough for that? All right. I'm gonna divide them because I feel like if I put all of it in one, it's gonna be like so much. So I'm gonna divide it. So clearly you could tell I don't normally do this round. I don't normally make coffee in a mason jar this huge. This will be perfect. I'm going to take, because that's 10, 20, 30, 40. So I'm gonna do a little bit in each, a 1/2 cup in each, because a 1/2 cup is for 10 servings. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to take yarn because I don't have any rubber bands. Use what you have, you guys. It doesn't have to look like the next person's. So I'm gonna take 4 pieces of string and tie up my coffee grounds. Am I hopeful that this is gonna stay on? I am. I'm going to tie it over and over and over. So like I said, I normally just dump the coffee grounds in here and call it quits, and then I just strain it later. But I'm not gonna lie, who wants to sit there and like strain coffee grounds like 3 or 4 times because you don't want coffee grounds in your coffee? So I thought this would be a fun trick. And hopefully once this gets wet, this does not open. So there you have it. It's gonna be what it is. There's one. I am going to quickly tie the rest of these up. Okay, now I'm just gonna fill this with water up to my 6.5 cup. Okay, so here it is. I filled it up. My coffee grounds are up here right now. A cool thing to do is put a lid on, and then I kind of dunk them in as before I put the lid on, so that way it can do its thing. I'm going to be leaving this one on the counter for tonight, overnight. This one, however, it's instant coffee. It's literally ready to go right now. If I wanted a cup of iced coffee, I just pour this over some ice and call it good because it's already done. And then this one we will leave overnight, and then it will be all ready to go by tomorrow. And hopefully the coffee ground bags will not bust open or anything like that, and it'll work out fine because then I can just take the bags out instead of straining it. Let me get the lids for both of these. Now for both of these, you can just do like the metal regular lid. Boom. On the countertop, like I said, and I'm gonna let this brew overnight. Hopefully everything will be good and we could just pour the tea bags out, which will be great. This one, like I said, just by sitting on here, it has already darkened. It's already ready to go. Before I do refrigerate it right away. Before I make my coffee, I do mix it because sometimes the instant coffee is at the bottom of the jar. So you just give it a quick shake and then it goes away. And then you're ready to have some ice and pour it over right away with this one. The next morning, I check on the coffee because I was worried if one of the coffee filters would rip or break or burst, and it looks like they all stayed intact, which is great. I left my coffee to brew out on the counter for about 14 hours, but I'm sure you can go all the way up to 24 hours. And then all you need to do is take out your coffee filters. And then all I do is fill the jar with some water so that way it's already prepared. And that's it. There's your brewed coffee for the next 7 to 10 days.
Thanks for watching, guys.